degree in quantity survey from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and postgraduate professional training in the United Kingdom. His tenure as Commissioner of Works in the old Borno State, which now comprise Borno and Yobe State, showcase his diligence and commitment to public service, setting a precedent for future roles in governance. The Senate is aware that as an astute politician, Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim was elected 3 times as governor of Yobe State, making him as the first civilian governor since the state's creation on 27 August 1991 under the platform of Social Democratic Party. He was also among the first cohort of elected governors following the restoration of democracy in Nigeria in 1999. He served alongside distinguished colleagues, including the current president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Ningi, GCFR, as governor of Lagos State. His governance spanned cumulative decades across the Third and Fourth Republics. He exhibited unwavering commitment to Yobe State and its people. Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim's leadership as the governor of Yobe State from 1999 to 2007 was illustratively transformative. His administration was marked by significant infrastructural development, which included the construction of roads, provision of water supply, and the improvement in the healthcare delivery. He also prioritized rural electrification and agriculture, notably through his pet project, Back to Farm program, and also established the Yobe State University, which demonstrated his achievement to education and sustainable development to the people of Yobe State. The Senate is aware that in the 12 years he served as legislator in the Senate, Bukar Abba Ibrahim distinguished himself through his honesty, frankness to a fault, as he says it, and it is without any fear of contradiction. He bearded his mind against all odds and was devoted to the welfare of the common man, the Telecawas. His legislative contributions were pivotal. He advocated for policies that fostered national unity and development. He chaired the Committee on Ecology and Climate Change, where his work was instrumental in addressing environmental challenges. His advocacy and legislation reflected a deep commitment to the welfare of Nigerians, earning him widespread respect and admiration. The Senate further notes that Bukar Abba Ibrahim was a paragon of democratic excellence, whose career was built on the principles of inclusivity, bridge building among diverse communities. He received many titles across ethnic and tribal boundaries. His loyalty and patriotism to his political party were evident when he aspired for the presidency in 2007, a dream he selflessly set aside in favor of supporting President Muhammad Buhari. He demonstrated his dedication to national causes over personal ambition. He was very consistent and never changed his political party. He was also a front-runner in the formation of All Progressive Congress, APC. His legacy as devoted public servant, Democrat, patriot, who tirelessly worked for the betterment of his state and the country remains inspirational. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to recommend the immortalization of Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim's name by renaming an educational institution with in recognition of his pivotal role and his profound contribution to the advancement of education in Yobe State and Nigeria at large. This act will serve as a lasting tribute to his vision for educational excellence and commitment to the development of Yobe State. 2. Observe 1 minute silence in honor of the departed soul of late Bukar Abba Ibrahim, acknowledging his vast contribution to the state and the nation. And lastly, to send a delegation to convey the Senate's condolences to the people of Yobe State and the family of the late Senator, recognizing their loss and the nation's shared grief. I so move, Mr. President. Thank you.
Dismissed Senator Ojus.
On Abba Bukar Ibrahim. He was elected governor the same day, and sworn in the same day by myself and Governor Lero and the sitting president today. I want to say that he was a very peaceful man. Yes. I saw him last some few months ago, and I was telling him, I said, there was a name I called. I said, listen, I'm not sure you are feeling very well. He said, no, he has some challenges. But as a colleague, he did his job to people of Yobe State very well. And he defended democracy when the time was there for us to defend democracy. Yes. He was a very bright governor. He served the people of Yobe State very well. I don't need to take time because most other people might like to speak. And I adore him for his steadfastness on when we had challenges between us and the federal government. He stood on the part of the people. And I want to say, I had aligned myself with all the requests Senator Abdul Ahmed made this morning. And I say, may you so rest in peace. And I want my colleagues to speak out on this honorable man. Thank you very much.
Motion moved by Senator Abdul, as seconded by Senator Kalu. Let the fighter colleague, let Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim, Governor of Yobe State. Mr. President, I was late governor, as deputy governor when he was a governor, was in the Senate for 2 good terms, and I know he had a very close range. And I was tuned to visit Yobe at different times when he was governor of Yobe State. And he's somebody whom you can comfortably call a true Nigerian, a man of peace, a governor of the masses, a man who came, saw, and conquered. Mr. President, you can go ahead and say more and more about this gentleman, departed soul, because it's what he deserved. Today, we do it to pay it almost Allah to grant him the to produce as he departed this earthly world. I so second, Mr. President. Thank you.
Distinguished
Borno State, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and indeed the entire country, for the loss of one of our leaders, foremost leaders in Nigeria. It is sad, but I take solace in a phrase in the Holy Quran, which says in Arabic, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We belong to God, and to him we shall return. He has gone. That is something that is mandatory, is compulsory on all human beings. Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim was a senator here. He was our colleague. He was my colleague. We were together with him here. But even before then, he was someone that was well known by all those who were in the progressive fold in this country. Indeed, entire Nigerians, because of his political disposition. He was a progressive to the core. Someone that was in the fold of the lives of Mala Aminu Kano. He was not someone that was having the inclination of trying to acquire wealth, primitive acquisition of wealth. He was not in that class. He served with distinction and never cared to acquire wealth for his own benefit. He was someone that was very close to the masses. Whatever he had was for the masses. Nobody saw him riding in a very exotic car or in a big mansion or wearing expensive clothes. No. Whatever I had was for the masses. And we saw that disposition here when he was in the Senate. Someone who was very frank. Whenever there was any motion or bill that had to do with the masses, he was in the forefront. And he never cared or was never afraid to talk to power. He always tried to make his feelings or opinions known about what should be done to the masses. So I was very glad yesterday when Senator Adamu Alero, Senator Wamako, and Nenjuma Goji, and of course you, the Senate President, and myself, said, look, this patriot of our time should not just be discussed in 1 or 2 minutes on the floor of the Senate. That we should really eulogize him so that the younger generation, those who don't know him, should know what he has done for this country, so that they can emulate him. This is what is good. When you have patriots of this kind of class, when they are no longer alive, tell the younger generation what they've done so that they can learn from what he has done for this country. He showed his progressive inclination disposition by joining the SDP. He wanted to be the governor of Yobe State under the banner of the SDP. Not the NRC. The NRC was for the bourgeoisie, for the elites of that time. Where we're in the SDP. We belong to the same class with him. I'm also a progressive like him. I'm a progressive like him, from the Aminu kind of class of politics. And of course, Abubakar Rimi was my leader. So, he was a man of the people, a founding father, one of the founding fathers of the present Yobe State. One of those that established who were the forefront of the establishment of Yobe State, and he became the first governor of that state. He created the entire foundation of the state. Just like we always say, our president, the Senate president, is the architect of the modern Akwa Ibom state. Bukar Abba Ibrahim was the architect of what we now have as Yobe State, one of the states of this country. He has done well, and I thank everyone, particularly the main mover of the motion, and of course, Senator Nenjuma Goji. He stood, he said, no, it's not possible. We must bring this as a substantive motion to discuss, and also Senator Wamako. And indeed, in fact, the Senate President even did it yesterday. He raised, he said, no, we must discuss it. We must debate this motion. Thank you for what you have done, even though he was one of you as a former governor, but I think his disposition demands that he should be debated on, because his disposition was something that had inclination to the cause of the masses. He has done well for this country, and I pray that may he rest in the agenda of fidelity. Thank you, Mr. President.
Dismissed Senator Ningi.
I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Though there is maybe what I will call generation difference between my humble self and the late Bukar Abba Ibrahim, Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim, but having come from a sister state of Borno, as a young man, I have closely watched his political trajectory in public life, his commitment and dedication to serve the people is exemplary and rear, in the sense that when he was the governor of Yobe State, he was nicknamed governor of the masses because of the friendly and people-oriented programs that he has been executed in Yobe State. And as a senator, he championed the cause of the underprivileged and the masses in all the legislations that he sponsored and supported. He's a leader par excellence, and the only consolation that we have is that while on earth, he served humanity very well. Death is a necessary end. It will come when it will come. And every living soul must taste death. Kullu nafsi zalikatul maut. So on this note, I want to seize this opportunity to wish him Al-Jannah Firdaus. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished Deputy Senate President.
Of course, sir, with a heavy heart, that this morning we're discussing the late Bukar Abba Ibrahim. And I thought Senator Alero in particular has sufficiently addressed some of the very highlights of the man's life. But there is a missing link that I have not had anybody mention, and that is the fact that Bukar Abba was a sportsman of the highest degree. Bukar Abba, Mr. President, was the former chairman of the Nigerian Hockey Federation from 1913 to 1918. 2013 to 2018. And when he left for the chairmanship, of the Nigerian Hockey Federation, my humble self took over from him as the chairman of the Nigerian Hockey Federation. But that is not the story. The story is that Bukar Abba created a team called Desert Rollers of Yobe, which became the national champions for 4 consecutive years in the Nigerian hockey history, and also became African champions for 2 consecutive times, and also became J.F. Kennedy champions in the United States for 4 consecutive times.
Sorry, distinguished Senator Ningi, of all the eulogies we have heard so far, this aspect of his sports contribution,
yes, sir,
to our national life,
yes, sir,
was not highlighted. I just want to crave your indulgence to repeat that aspect for the knowledge of Nigerians.
For the knowledge of Nigerians, and of course, this is not something that is out there except for those who are into sports. And I said, Bukar Abba was the former national chairman of Nigerian Hockey Federation for a span of 7 years. When he left as the chairman of the Nigerian Hockey Federation, and while I was in the Senate, as the deputy minority leader, he came into my office and urged me to contest for the position. And he helped me to win the position as the national chairman of the Nigerian Hockey Federation. And I said that is not the story. The story is that Abba, because of his love for sports, and hockey in particular, formed a team called Yobe Desert Rollers. And this team, from nowhere, out of the blues, dethroned the former champions from Delta, from Katsina, from Lagos, and they became synonymous with hockey development in Nigeria. Mr. President, at a time when Abba was the governor, his Desert Rollers team supplied the Nigerian hockey national team with almost 9 nationals. 9 people who were playing for the country. And they became champions for 4 consecutive times in Nigeria. They became African champions 2 times and became club champions in United States of America for 4 consecutive times. And the championship was called JF Kennedy Championship. And I'm sure this is something that a lot of Nigerians do not know. And he died every time there was issue in hockey. He made sure that he is there. He had the opportunity of taking our national team to various sporting competitions, even when the federal government was not giving them money. And that is Abba for you. So I think this is something that has really touched the sports-loving people of this country and our hockey family in particular. We've been mourning the loss of this gentleman for the last 72 hours, and it is really very difficult to find somebody like him. And I thought it is gratifying when Senator Alero came and moved this motion, and you had a lot of our colleagues giving him the eulogies that he deserved. I think we should not forget this guy, this man, and I'm sure hockey family, we're putting our heads together to see which stadium we'll name after Abba Bukar. May the soul of Bukar Abba rest in power.
Contributions to national life. Distinguished Senator Goje, that in all cases not provided for in the standing order or by sessional or other orders or practices of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its proceedings. And so the Senate by resolution decided that it was still necessary for us to utilize this man who spent 12 good years here and spent 10 years as a governor in one of the states in Nigeria, a foundation politician, and from what you are hearing, an icon of sports, a man who committed himself to the service of humanity. So for the past 72 years, 72 hours, all of us in this hallowed chamber are mourning, and we are still mourning the passing away of Governor Senator Bukar Abba. And so we decided to give ourselves the opportunity to say 1 or 2 things about him that many Nigerians did not know. So let me invite one of his classmates, distinguished Senator Yahaya, to say a word.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am